Chapter 5 Review of the Solar Race. Lomaharshana said, Vaivasvata Manu had 9 sons, all equal to him in every respect. They were Ikshvaku, Nabhaga, Drshta, Saryati, Naresyanta, Pramshu, Rista, Karusha, and Prashadra. O excellent sages, these were the 9 sons. O Brahmans, before the birth of these sons, Prajapati Manu, of great intellect, had been desirous of begetting sons, and so performed the sacrifice with Mitra and Varuna as deities. In the course of that sacrifice, O excellent Brahmans, Manu poured libation in the part pertaining to Mitra and Varuna. It is said in the Vedas that Ila was born therefrom. She was clad in divine garments and bedecked in divine ornaments. She had a divine physical form. Manu, the holder of the scepter, called her Ila and said, O gentle lady, follow me. Ila spoke these words in reply to Prajapati, who was desirous of a son and who was righteous. Ila said, O foremost among the eloquent, I am born in the portion pertaining to Mitra and Varuna. I shall go to them. Do not violate my dharma. After saying this to Lord Manu and approaching Mitra and Varuna, Ila, the lady of beautiful hips, spoke to Mitra and Varuna with palms joined in reverence. O Devas, I am born in the portion pertaining to you. What shall I do unto you? I have been asked by Manu to follow him. O excellent Brahmins, Mitra and Varuna spoke thus to the chaste lady Ila, who is devoted to piety and who had spoken the truth. O fair-complexioned lady of beautiful hips, we are delighted by your piety, self-control, humility, and truthfulness. O highly blessed lady, you will become famous as our daughter. You alone will turn out to be the son of Manu, perpetuating his line. You will become famous in the 3 worlds, well known as Sudyumna, favorite of the universe, practicing piety and making the race of Manu flourish. After hearing this, she returned. While she was returning from the presence of her father, Buddha availed himself of the opportunity and invited her for sexual dalliance. O Brahmans, Puruvaras was born to her by her union with Buddha, son of Soma. After giving birth to Puravas, Ila became Sudyumna. He got 3 sons who were extremely virtuous. O Brahmans, they were Utkala, Gaya, and Vinats-asva. O Brahmins, the Utkala land was given to Utkala. Vinat-ashva land, his land, in the western quarter, and O leading sages, Gaya had the land, Gaya. In the eastern region, where Manu suppressed the challenging foes, he divided the earth into 10 provinces to be ruled over by them. Among them, the eldest son obtained the middle country. In view of his being a daughter as well, Sudyumna did not get his realm, but at the instance of sage Vashishta, he got a foothold in Pratistana. Drshnu, Ambarisha, and Dandaka got equal shares. The excellent Dandaka forest was named after Dandaka. Merely on entering the forest, a man becomes liberated from his sins. O Brahmans, after begetting sons, Aila, Sudyumna went to heaven. O excellent Brahmans, the kingdom of the righteous king Sudyumna was fairly established. After attaining the kingdom, the king of great fame gave it to the Pauravas. O excellent sages, he was a son of Manu, with the characteristics of a woman and a man. He ruled over the kingdom as Ila, as well Sudyumna. He was well renowned. The Shakas were the sons of Narishyanta. Ambarisha, the most excellent of kings, was the son of Nabhaga, O Brahmans. Darshashtakas became very proud of their might to fight in battles. The residents of Karusha, the land of Karusha, were kshatriyas, impressible in war. The sons of Nabaga and Drishta were originally kshatriyas, who later on became Vaishyas. Amsu had only one son, who is known as Prajapati. Narishyanta's son was King Yama, who held the staff of chastisement. Saryati had twins as children. The son was known as Anarta. The daughter was known as Sukanya, who became the wife of Kyavana. Raivata was the son of Raiva. His eldest son, Kakudmi, was very righteous. He ruled the city of Kaushasthali. Accompanied by his daughter, he approached Brahma and listened to Gandharva music for the duration of a muhurta of the Lord. O Brahmins, actually it comprised many of yugas of the mortals. He returned to the city which was peopled by the Yadavas. It had been converted into a city named Davarvarati. It looked very beautiful with many gateways. It was protected by the Bojas and the Vrishinis and Andakas, whose leader was Vasudeva. O excellent Brahmins, Raivata realized the true nature of existence. He gave his daughter Revati of good holy rites to Balaram in marriage, and himself went to the peak of Mount Meru. He stayed there and performed penance. Balaram, the righteous, sported about in the company of Revati and was very happy. The sages said, O highly intelligent one, how is it that even after the lapse of many yugas, old age did not afflict Revati or Raivata Kakudmin? How was the line of Saryati perpetuated on earth after he had gone to Meru? We wish to hear everything precisely. Lomaharshana said, O excellent sages, O sinless ones, neither old age nor hunger, nor thirst, nor death, nor the circle of seasons has any adverse influence in the Brahmaloka at any time. When Raivaita Kukudmin departed for the heavenly world, O Brahmins, the city of Kushashtali was attacked and destroyed by Punyajanas and the Rakshasas. The righteous noble king had 100 brothers. On being attacked and massacred by the Rakshasas, they fled in all directions. O excellent Brahmins, after fleeting in all directions, they established their extensively large line in different places. O excellent sages, their kshatriya groups are well reputed as saryatas. They were endowed with good qualities and became famous in all quarters. They had entered the dense forests all around. They were endowed with great prowess. The two sons of Nabaga and Rista were originally Vaishyas, who later became Brahmins. The Kurushas, the Kshatriya sons of Karusa, were irrepressible in battles. O excellent Brahmins, Prishadra inflicted violent injuries on the cow of his preceptor, and due to the curse of his preceptor, he attained the state of a Shudra. Thus, O excellent sages, the 9 sons of Vaivashvata Manu had been recounted. O Brahmins, it was when Manu sneezed that his son Ikshvaku was born. Ikshvaku had 100 sons who distributed monetary gifts in plenty. Vikukshi was the eldest among them, and he was endowed with great valor. He was a great lord exceptionally conversant with religious virtues. He became the lord of Ayodhya. He had 500 sons. The eldest among them was Shakuni. They were very powerful, and the sole protectors of the northern region. O excellent Brahmins, there were other administrations in the southern region, numbering 58. Shashada was the leader of all these. On the Ashtaka day, Ikshvaku commanded Vikukshi, O powerful one, kill some rabbits and bring their flesh for performing Shraddha. O Brahmins, after planning to perform the Shraddha rite, but before executing it, he ate part of the meat of the rabbit, which was meant for the Shraddha. Hence, he was called Shashada. At the instance of Vashista, he was exiled by Ikshvaku. O Brahmins, when Ikshvaku passed away, Shashada became the king. Shashada's heir and successor was a powerful king named Kakusta. Kakusta's son was Anenas, and Purtu was his son. Virashva was Purtu's son, and Ardra was born of him. O Brahmins, Yuvanasvas was Ahedra's son, and his son was Shravasta. Shravasta was the king by whom Shravasti was built. Burhadashva was the successor of King Shravasta. His son, Kuvalashva, was a very righteous monarch. It was he who obtained the title Dundumhara, the slayer of Dundu. The sages said, O highly intelligent one, we wish to hear about the manner whereby Dundu was slain. We wish to hear it precisely, how Kuval Ashva came to be known as Dundumara. Lomaharshana said, Kulashva had 100 sons. All of them were good bowmen, powerful, clever in learning, and unassailable. All of them were righteous. All performed sacrifices wherein they distributed plenty of money as gifts. Brahadashva crowned his son Kuvulashva in the kingdom. After transferring the royal glory to his son, he entered the forest. Utanka, the Brahmanical sage, stopped him as he was about to leave. Utanka said, It is your duty to protect your subjects, O king. I am unable to perform a carefree penance. Very near my hermitage there is a flat, sandy wasteland of desert. The sea nearby is filled with sand. It is known by the name of Udalaka. There is a great asura, Dundu, who remains hidden under the ground, beneath the sand. His body is huge. He is very powerful. He is indestructible, even by devas. He is the son of Asura Madhu. He is lying down there, performing a severe penance for the destruction of the entire world. At the end of a year, when he leaves a deep sigh, the whole earth shakes. A great column of dust is raised by the air he lets out when he sighs. His huge body today conceals the path of the sun. The earthquake lasts for a week. The column of dust is accompanied by flames, burning coal, and smoke. He is extremely terrible. Hence, O dear one, I am unable even to stay in my hermitage. With a desire to do what is beneficial to the world, please slay that huge monster. May the world heave a sigh of relief after he has been assassinated by you. O Lord of the earth, indeed, you alone are competent to kill him. O king, in the previous yuga, a boon had been granted unto you by Vishnu. Due to this boon granted to you, you will enhance the refulgence and splendor of the person who slays that terribly great asura of inordinate power. Indeed, this Dundu of great splendor cannot be slain, O king, by a person of mean splendor, even after a long time. Nay, not even in the course of 100 yugas. His virility is immense, inaccessible even to devas. On being requested thus by the noble Utanka, the saintly king gave him his son, Kuvalashva, for the work of killing Dundu. Brahadashva said, O saintly lord, I have already laid down my arms. Here is my son, O excellent Brahman. He will undoubtedly slay Dundu. After directing his son for slaying Dundu, the saintly king went to the mountain and adopted holy rites. Lomaharshana said, O Brahmins, accompanied by his 100 sons and sage Utanka, Kavalashva proceeded ahead for slaying Dundu. At the behest of Utanka and with a desire for achieving the welfare of the world, Lord Vishnu permeated him with his own splendor. When that invincible king proceeded ahead, a loud sound arose in the heaven. This glorious and invincible king will become the slayer of Dundu. They showered him all round with divine scents and garlands. The celestial drums were sounded loudly. Accompanied by his sons, that powerful king, the most excellent among the victorious, went to the sea and dug up the inexhaustible sandy deposit. O Brahmans, Dundu was ferreted out by his sons, who dug the entire western portion. Even as he lay concealed by the sands, he appeared to whirl up furiously all the worlds by the fire of his mouth. O leading sages, like the ocean that rises at the moon, he let out jets of water, coming up in waves and foams. All the hundreds of sons of the king, excepting 3, were killed by that demon. Then that brilliant king of immense splendor, who had resolved to kill Dundu, approached the powerful Asura. The king, a great yogin, drank up the speedy current of water let out by the monster, and quenched the fire with the very same water. After slaying the aquatic Asura of a huge body by means of his inordinate strength, the king fulfilled his mission and met Utanka the sage. Utanka granted boons unto the noble king. He granted him inexhaustible wealth and a non-occurrence of defeat at the hands of his enemies. He granted him a perpetual interest in righteousness and everlasting stay in the celestial world. To those sons who were slain by the Asura, he granted permanent abodes in heaven. The eldest of those who remained is called Dardashva, and the junior princes were called Chandrashva and Kapilashva. Harashva is known as the son of Dardashva, son of Dundu Mahara. Harash's son was Nikumba, who was ever devoted to Kshatriya duties. O Brahmans, Samahatasva's son, Nikumba, was an expert in warfare. Akarashva and Kurashva were the sons of Samahatashva. His daughters, Haimavati, became famous as Darshadvati. Her son, Prasenajit, was renowned in the 3 worlds. Prasenajit married the chaste lady Gauri by name. Cursed by her husband, she became the river Bahuda. His son, Yuvanashva, was the lord of kings. Mandata was Yunadveshva's son, and he conquered the 3 worlds. His wife, Chaitrarati, was the daughter of Shasha Bindu. She was called Bindu Mati also. She was a chaste lady, and in the whole world she was unrivaled in beauty. That chaste lady was the eldest sister of 10,000 brothers. O Brahmins, Mandata procreated in her 2 sons. They were Purukshta, who was conversant with holy rites, and Mukukunda, who became the king. Purukutsa's son, Trashadashu, became a monarch. Sambhuta, his son, was born of Queen Narmada. Sambhuta's successor was Sudanvan. Sudanvan's son was Tridanvan, suppressor of enemies. The scholarly Trayayurna was the son of King Tridanvan. His son, Satyavrata, was a mighty prince. He was wicked. He put in obstacles when the mantras were chanted in the course of a marriage. He abducted the wedded wives of other persons. Whether it was due to his childishness, or lust, or delusion, or foolhardiness, or fickle-mindedness, he abducted lustfully the daughters of many citizens. Calling out furiously, "O disgraceful one," many times, Trayayaruna banished him on account of his sinful deeds. Thus exiled, he said to his father, "Where shall I go?" He asked him many times. His father replied, "Go and stay among the Kandalas, O defiler of my family. I do not seek such a son as you." Thus commanded, he went out of the city at the instance of his father. Vashista, the holy sage, did not restrain him. O Brahmins, the heroic Satyavrata, banished by his father, stayed near the slums of the Chandalas. His father went away to the forest. O Brahmins, on account of that sin, Indra did not reign in that land for 12 years. Sage Vishvamitra of great penance kept his wife in that land and performed an elaborate penance beyond the sea. His wife tied her middle son around her neck and went about offering him for sale in exchange of 100 cows for maintaining the other sons. O Brahmins, seeing the son of the great sage tied around the neck for sale, the righteous son of the king released him. Satyavrata was the mighty prince, sustained him for pleasing Vishvamitra and to get his sympathy. Since he was tied around the neck, he was called Galava. The intelligent sage of severe penance was thus relieved by that heroic monarch. Chapter 6. Kings of the Solar Race. Lomaharshana said, Lord Satyavrata, abiding by the rules of graceful behavior, maintained the wife of Vishvamitra, out of sympathy and as a result of his own vow. He killed wild buffaloes, boars, and deer, and tied up the pieces of their meat to a tree near Vishvamitra's hermitage. He adopted the holy rite of Upamshu, Vrata, maintaining silence, and took to initiation for a penance, lasting for 12 years. He stayed there at the instance of his father. When the king went to the forest, it was sage Vashishta who administered the city of Ayodhya and the whole kingdom. He looked after the affairs of the harem, as well in view of his relationship as the preceptor and the family priest of the monarch. O sinless ones, whether it was due to his childishness or to the unavoidability of the fixture of events, Satyavrata maintained a perpetual grudge against Vashishta. For, when he was banished, in spite of being a favorite son by his father, sage Vashishta had not tried to intercede. The mantras chanted at the celebration of a marriage became effective when the 7th step is taken. Hence, Satyavrata killed the bridegrooms at the 7th step. But, O Brahmins, Satyavrata cherished anger against Vashishta, thinking in his mind, although Vashishta knows Dharma, he does not save me. It was on ethical grounds that Vashishta, the saintly lord, did not intervene on behalf of Satyavrata. The silent behavior was not understood by Satyavrata. The noble father, too, was dissatisfied with him. Therefore, Indra did not shower rain for 12 years. But now, he took it upon himself of the vow of a great holy rite, which is very difficult to maintain on the earth. O Brahmins, he maintained it thinking that expiation for his sin would be done thereby and the family saved. Vashishta, the saintly lord, did not restrain his father when he was being banished because the sage thought that his father might crown his son. The powerful Satyavrata maintained the vow for 12 years. Once there was no meat anywhere, the prince saw Kamhadenu, cow sage of Vashishta. O excellent sages, the king who followed the convention of the land where he stayed killed that cow. He had been so hungry and utterly exhausted. Due to his anger against Vashishta and delusion, he did not hesitate in his heinous crime. He ate the meat of the cow and fed the sons of Vishvamitra therewith. On knowing about it, Vashishta became furious. Vashishta said, O ruthless one, undoubtedly I shall fix the peg of sin even if the previous 2 pegs are not effective. Now your sin is threefold: dissatisfying your father, abducting another man's wife, and slaying of the cow belonging to your preceptor. Seeing thus his 3 pegs of sin, the sage of great penance called him Trishanku. Hence he is known as Trishanku. Since he maintained his wife, sage Vishvamitra was pleased, and he granted him boons. When the prince was asked to choose a boon as he pleased, he said, I shall like to go to heaven in this physical form. When the drought of 12 years had passed off, the sage Vishvamitra crowned him in the ancestral kingdom and performed a sacrifice on his behalf. This sage of great penance made him ascend to heaven in his physical form, even as the gods and Vashishta looked on. His wife, Satyarata, born of the family of Kaikeya, bore him a sinless son, Hari Chandra. That king is known both as Hari Chandra and Traisankava. He is well known as an emperor and the performer of Rajusuya sacrifice. Hari's Chandra's son was the king named Rohita. Harita was Rohita's son, and his son is known as Kanku. O excellent sage, Vijaya was born of Kanku. He was the conqueror of the entire earth, hence he was called Vijaya. Ruruka was his son, and he was an expert on royalty, wealth, and virtue. Vrika was the son of Ruruka, and Bahu was born of Vrika. The kings, Haihasyas and Talajangas, ousted him from power. His pregnant wife took shelter in the hermitage of Aurava. Even in that righteous yuga, he was not very pious. Sagara was the son of Bahu, was born along with the poison. He went to the hermitage of Aurava and was well protected by Bhargava. From Bhargava the king, Sagara obtained the miraculous weapon belonging to Agni. He conquered earth after killing Hayas and Talajangas. That unerring king, the knower of real dharma, suppressed the religious rituals of Shakas, Pallavas, Kshatriyas, and Paradas. O excellent sages! The sages said, how was he born along with the poison in the forest? Why did that unerring king furiously suppress the traditional religious rites of Shakas and others, as well as those of Kshatriyas of mighty prowess? O highly intelligent one, narrate this to us in detail. Lomaharshana said, Bahu was indulging in vice. Hence, he was entirely deprived of his kingdom. O excellent Brahmins, by Hayayas and Talajangas, along with Shakas, the 5 groups of kings, vis-a-vis Shakas, Yavanas, Paradas, Kambojas, and Pallavas, exhibited their valor on behalf of the Hayas. Deprived of his kingdom, King Bahu went to the forest, followed by his wife. In his unbearable misery, he put an end to his own life. His pregnant wife, hailing from the family of Yadus, followed him. O sinless one, previously poison had been administered to her by her co-wife. This co-wife arranged the funeral pyre of their common husband in the forest and descended to it. O Brahmins, Aurava, the descendant of Bhargu, protected her sympathetically. The child in the womb came out along with the poison at the hermitage, and thus the mighty king Sagara was born. Aurava performed the postnatal and other rites for the child. He taught him the Vedas and Shastras. Thereafter, he taught him the mode of wielding miraculous weapons. He taught him the miraculous weapons of fire, O blessed ones, which were unbearable even to the immortals. Endowed with great strength, enhanced by the power of miraculous missiles, the king, ere long, killed the Hayayas in battle, like the infuriated Rudra destroying the Vasus. Foremost among the renowned persons, he earned further reputation in the world. Thereafter, he resolved to exterminate the Shakas, Yavanas, Kambojas, Paradas, and Pallavas. Being slaughtered by that heroic noble Sagara, they sought shelter in Vashista after submitting to that learned sage. Vashista, the extremely brilliant sage, offered them freedom from fear on certain conditions. He then restrained Sagara. On hearing the words of his preceptor and being faithful to his promise, Sagara suppressed their traditional rituals and changed their guise. He released Shakas after shaving half of their heads. He completely shaved off the heads of Yavanas and Kambojas. The Paradas were made to keep their tresses untied, and the Pallavas were asked to grow mustaches and beards. They were deprived of Vedic study and the chanting of Vasatkara mantras by that noble king. O excellent Brahmins, all these Kshatriyas, vis-a-vis the Shakas, Yavanas, Kambojas, Paradas, Kalasasparas, Mahi Shakas, Dharyas, Kolas, and Keralas, were deprived of their traditional religious practices by King Sagara, of noble soul, and at the instance of Vashista. After conquering the earth, the virtuous and victorious king took initiation for the horse sacrifice and released the sacrificial horse to wander at will. His horse that was roaming about near the southeastern sea on the shore was stolen and taken underground. Thereupon, the king got that place dug up through his sons. When the great ocean was being dug up, they came upon the primordial Purusha, Lord Hari, Prajapati Krishna, and Lord Vishnu, who was sleeping in the guise of Kapila. O excellent sages, they were burned by the fiery splendor that came out of his eyes as he woke up. But 4 of them escaped. They were Parihiketu, Suketu, King Dharmarata, and the valorous Panchanada. These were the kings who maintained the line. Lord Hari, Narayana, granted him the boon that Ikshvaku's race would be everlasting and they would have unreceding fame. The Lord said that the ocean will be known as his son, and his residence in the heavenly world would be everlasting. Taking Ahargya unto him, the ocean saluted the monarch. Hence, the ocean earned the title Sagara. Sagara got back the sacrificial horse from the ocean. That king of great fame performed 100 horse sacrifices. We have already heard that he had 60,000 sons. The sages said, O Sutaja, how were the mighty valorous 60,000 sons of Sagara born? By what process or holy rite were they born? Lomaharshana said, Sagara had 2 wives. They had their sins burnt by penance. The elder wife was the daughter of Vidarbha named Keshini. The younger one was the Mahiti, the daughter of Aristanemhi. She was extremely righteous and unrivaled in beauty in the world. Arava granted them a boon. Understand it, O excellent Brahmins. He said, one of you endowed with penance may accept 60,000 sons. Let the other accept 1 son who will perpetuate the race. You can choose as you please. One of them, accordingly, accepted 60,000 sons, and the other accepted 1 son who would uphold the race. The sage said, so be it. Keshini bore a son, Asamanajasa, to Sagara. That son of great bustle became the king by the name of Panchajana. The other lady gave birth to a gourd full of seeds. So we hear. There, 60,000 fetuses, each of the size of a gangly seed, grew up. As time passed, they grew bigger, more comfortable. The nurses deposited these fetuses in pots filled with ghee. They gave each of them nourishing food. In the course of 10 months, they grew up in due order. These princes delighted Sagara in due course. O Brahmins, thus he had 60,001 sons. The sons of the king were born out of the gourd like big fetuses. The divine splendor of Narayana had permeated the bodies of these noble persons. The only son of the other lady, named Panchajana, became the king. Panchajana's son was Amshuman. He was very valorous. Dilipa was his son. He became renowned as Katavanga. He maintained only a muhurta-long lifespan. He came down from heaven and conceived of the 3 worlds by means of his intellect and intrinsic strength. O sinless ones, Dilipa's successor was Lord Bhagritata. He was the person who made the sacred river Ganga descending from heaven. He took it to the ocean and made it his daughter. Hence, Ganga is called Bhagirati by the chroniclers. Bhagirata's son was renowned by the name Shruta. Nabhaga was Shruta's son. He was extremely virtuous. Ambarisha was the son of Nabhaga and the father of Sindhuvipa. Ayudhajit was the valorous successor of Sindhuvipa. Ayudhajit's son was Rituparna of great fame. He was conversant with a divine mantra called Akshardaya. That mighty king was a friend of Nala. Rituparna's son was Atarpani. He had earned great fame. Sudhas was his son. That king became the friend of Indra. King Saudasya was the son of Sudash. King Mitrasa became well known as Kalmashapada. Kalmashapada's son was known as Sarvakarma. Sarvakarma's son was the famous Anaranya. Nigha was the son of Anaranya. Nigana had two sons. They were Anamitra and Raghu. They were the most excellent of all good kings. Anamrita's son was Duliduha, who was a scholarly king. Dilipa was his son. He was the great-grandfather of Rama. Dilipa's son Raghu was the mighty king of Ayodhya. Raja was born as the son of Raghu. To him was born Dasarata. Rama was born to Dasarata, and Sri Rama's son was Kusha. Atiti was born of Kusha. He was the righteous king of great fame. The valorous son Nishada was born of Atiti. Nala was the son of Nishada. Nabha was the son of Nala. Nabha's son was Pundarika, and his son was Kshemadhanvan. The valorous Devanika was the son of Kishnamadavan. The son of Devanika, Abhinagu, was a great lord. Abhinagu's successor was Sundanvan. Sundanvan's son was King Shala. Shala had a son who was a righteous soul, Ukya. Vajranabha was his son, and Nala was the son of that noble monarch. O excellent sages, only two Nalas are known in the Puranas. One was Virasena's son, and the other leading a scion of the Ikshvaku race. The kings born in the family of the Ikshvaku race had been glorified in accordance with their importance. Such were the kings of the solar race, who were highly brilliant and brave. He who reads this creation of Aditya, Vivashvan, Lord Shradadeva, the bestower of nourishment to the people, shall be blessed with progeny. He will attain the world of Vivashvan.